Hello students, how are you today? I hope you are fine. My name is Kadralieva Inura, and today we are going to talk about a letter of application. A letter of application is a document that expresses your interest in an open position. Let's start our lesson. A letter of applications. Objectives. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to have a clear understanding what is a letter of application is. Identify and apply the different formats used in formal letter writing to write a letter of application. A letter of application. Occasionally, employers prefer to receive an application letter for an open position instead of resume and cover letter. You may use this letter when you're applying for a job. An application letter is a document you submit to a potential employer to express your interest in an open position. How to write an application letter? When writing an application letter for a job, follow the steps to make sure you include information about yourself and your professional experience that will appeal to a hiring manager. Review information about the company and position. Use a professional format. Create the heading. Address the letter to the hiring manager. Open the letter by describing your interest. Outline your experience and qualification. Include aspects of your personality. Express appreciation. Close the letter. Review information about the company and position. It's best to write a new application letter for each position you're applying for, so you can include pertinent detail and show your interest in the particular open role. Compare your qualification and experience with the list of skills in that posting. You may also want to think about specific experiences that have prepared you for the role, such as leading a team or managing a major event. Try to keep your job application letter to one page. When a hiring manager reviews your job application letter, they will get their first impression of you as a potential employee. So take time to format it professionally and keep it concise. Create the heading. Use a formal business heading for your job application letter. The heading should include your name and contact information, the date and the company name and address. If you send your job application letter via email, you can eliminate your name and contact information from the header and put it at the bottom of the email after the signature instead. Example header: your name, your physical address, your phone number, your email address. Date: name of hiring manager or supervisor, title of hiring manager or supervisor, company name, company physical address. By including a professional and detailed heading, you can make it easier for the hiring manager to follow up with you regarding the position. Address the letter to the hiring manager. In your research, try to find the name of the person reviewing application for the job. Address your letter to this person with a common business greeting such as Dear Mr., Dear Miss, and their last name. If you are not sure of the name or gender of the individual reviewing your application, you can use the generic "to whom it may concern" or "Dear hiring manager." Open the letter by describing your interest. In the first paragraph of your letter, Mention the job title for which you are applying and where you saw the position posting. Include your interest in the role and briefly state the main experience or qualification you have that makes you a good fit. This is the section that will draw in the hiring manager as the reader of your application letter. So it's important to appeal to that person quickly. Example: I saw the posting for marketing intern role on my university's online job board and I'm very interested in the role. I am in my final year of earning my bachelor's degree in marketing with a minor in communications. So I feel my educational experience has prepared me to work in a fast-paced marketing department like the one within your organization. Outline your experience and qualification. The next few paragraphs of your letter should highlight your experience, qualifications, and skills, positions in a way that align with the company's goals and mission. For example, if you are applying for a job with a non-profit organization that provides educational opportunities to underserved community members, you could talk about your experience with non-profit organization or educational offerings. Since a job application letter should stand on its own without a resume, it's helpful to include detail about your experience that relate to the position to which you are applying. Include aspects of your personality. As you are writing your job application letter, consider how you can incorporate aspects of your personality. A friendly and engaging letter is likely to appeal to the reader, especially when they can get an idea of how well you might fit with the team. For example, in the situation mentioned above, explain in your letter you are good at connecting with children or how you value community spirit. Express appreciation. Before you sign off your letter, express your appreciation to the hiring manager for reviewing your letter and considering you for the position. The hiring manager is taking time out of their day to read what you have written, so expressing your gratitude for the time spent in a polite and a professional way to close the document. Example: I appreciate the time you have taken to review my application letter. Since you likely received a number of applications and letters for this open position, I am extremely grateful for the time you have spent reading about me and what would make me a good fit for this role. Close to letter. Many people use sincerely or best to close the letter, although any professional sign-off is fine to include. The final line of the letter should be your full name. If you submit a hard copy of the letter, include your signature above your typed name. When submitting an application letter via email, you should include your contact information beneath your name, rather than including it in the header. How to end a cover letter. There are multiple components needed to craft a well-rounded cover letter closing. Express confidence. Be passionate. Connect your talent to the role. State your goals and expectations. Demonstrate your connection to the company's goals. Choose the right complementary clause. Choose the right complementary clause. After you have written an impactful final sentence, Sign off with a professional and polite closing. Remember, a cover letter should have a degree of formality to it. Here are several strong closing to consider. Sincerely, regard, best, respectfully, thank you. To avoid sounding like you are writing to a letter to a friend or family member, stay away from using casual closing like cheers, warm regard, yours truly, have a wonderful day. Job application tips. When preparing a job application letter, follow these tips to make sure your letter includes the information a hiring manager needs. Emphasize your skill and abilities. An application letter is your opportunity to sell yourself as an excellent candidate for the open position. Include specific examples of situations in which you applied your experience, ability, or skills to benefit the organization. It is also helpful to include data that supports your claims. Stay concise. Although it may be tempting to include a lot of detailed information about yourself, it is important to be concise. If a hiring manager receives a letter that has multiple pages, they may not take the time to read it. A brief letter is more manageable and appealing. Proofread the letter. Since this letter is serving as your first impression, you want to make sure it is as positive as possible. Make sure your letter doesn't have any grammatical or spelling errors to avoid a potentially negative first impression. Review the job listing keywords. Most job postings will include certain skills and abilities that the hiring manager and supervisor want applicants to possess. Including these keywords in your application letter helps to show the person reviewing it you would be a good fit in that specific role. Send a letter for every position to which you apply. Unless a job posting specifically states not to send an application letter, it is smart to send one for each job to which you apply. This letter offers the opportunity for a potential employer to learn more about you and gives you the chance to set yourself apart from other applicants. The letter of application, also known as a cover letter, explains to the employer why you are qualified for the position in which you are applying and why you should be selected for an interview. The letter of application is often your earliest written contact with a potential employer, creating a critical first impression. That first glance at your letter of application is your one opportunity to make a good impression and make it to the next round in the search process. Letter of application guidelines. Font. Use a traditional font such as Times New Roman, Arial or Calibri. The font size should be between 10 and 12 points. Format. A letter of application should be single-spaced with a space between each paragraphs. Use about one margin and align your text to the left, which is a standard alignment for most documents. Length. A letter of application should be about 1 page long. Hard skills. Quantifiable, certifiable, definable. Soft skills. Social skills, attitude, management. Exercise 1. Read the letter and put the missing words in gaps. Join, to, expand, spare, enclose, hearing, helping, as, fascinating, applying, interested, look. The Antarctic Research Project. Dear Sir or Madam, I am in for the job of helper with the Antarctic Research Project, advertised in the London Times on 18 August. My reasons for wishing to The theme is that I have always been by wildlife, and I would very much like to my knowledge of wildlife by doing research of this kind. My curriculum vitae, you will see, I have worked in veterinary practices in my time, and I have spent some time in the north of England, a vet during the lambing season. I forward to from you. Yours faithfully, Adrian Roberts. Let's check the Antarctic Research Project. Dear Sir or Madam, I am interested in applying for a job of helper with the Antarctic Research Project, advertised in the London Times on 18 August. My reason for wishing to join the team are that I have always been fascinated wildlife, and I would very much like to expand my knowledge of wildlife by doing research of this kind. I enclose my curriculum vitae. As you will see, I have worked in 2 veterinary practices in my spare time, and I have spent some time in the north of England helping a vet during the lambing season. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully. Applying for a job, writing a letter of application. And this is an example of a letter of application. Exercise 2. Put the information in the correct order. Relevant skills or knowledge. Reasons for applying for the job. Particular points in the CV that shows experience is relevant. Why he is writing the letter. Reference to the CV enclosed. Exercise number 3. Choose the correct preposition in each sentence. I don't like the idea of working in for by someone. Paul joined us for as a research assistant. To join a team as of 4 experts, ring this number. A knowledge in or for wildlife is desirable. I have always enjoyed working for with by animals. Send in a CV when applying for a job. I'm interested into the job advertised. Maria has always been fascinated with by wildlife. Sam represented his school at these spots. We look forward to or for hearing from you. I don't like the idea of working for someone. Paul joined us to a research assistant. To join a team as experts, ring this number. A knowledge of wildlife is desirable. I have always enjoyed working with animals. Send in a CV when applying for a job. I'm interested in the job advertised. Maria has always been fascinated by wildlife. We look forward to hearing from you. Exercise number 4. Find 13 mistakes and rewrite the letter. Dear Sir or Madam, I would like to apply for the job of helper on the research project. My reason to doing this are that I have always fascinated by the world of wildlife and I am very good in working in a team. I am putting my curriculum vitae. Because you will see, I have organized many events at school and have spent some time working in an office at the weekends. I look forward to hear from you. Yours sincerely, Susanna Taylor. Dear Sir or Madam, I would like to apply for the job of helper on the research project. My reasons for doing this are that I have always been fascinated by the world of wildlife and I am very good at working in a team. I enclose my curriculum vitae. As you will see, I have organized many events at school and have spent some time working in an office at weekends. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully, Susanna Taylor. Writing tip. Planning and writing a CV. Write all the necessary personal information at the top. Write the name of your secondary school and any examination result. Write any responsibilities you have now and had in the past at school. List any work experience you may have had and when you did it. Think of any interest you have outside school. Write the name of the least one referee. It can be one of your teachers or someone who knows you well. Homework. Write your CV and a letter of application. You are going to apply for one of the jobs in the advertisement. Use the plan, the writing tips as the model. Students, the lesson is over. Goodbye. See you soon. With love, Ainura Kaparovna.